All right, guys, welcome to the show. I have an abbreviated one for you today because I'm traveling. Did a live show in New York City. Now going to do a live show in Boston. I'm all over the place. I'm tired. I'm fucking beat down. It's been raining like a motherfucker. So, but it's a blast. Not complaining, having a great time. Wish I could do a longer show, but like I said, I got a little abbreviated one here for you today. But nonetheless, I still have some gems. So I want to tell you we're going to go through the timeline of Kanye West politics. And wow, is that a wild ride. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Dave Rubin saying one of the single dumbest things I've ever heard, and Candace Owens finally weighs in on what Kanye West has been saying, and her way of weighing in is to not weigh in and to sort of avoid the fact that she snuggled up to this guy who just went full goose-stepping Nazi pro-Hitler shit. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So Kanye West has been a fascinating character for a long time. Obviously, he's an A-list celebrity, very, very well-known, was previously beloved, and the Recount put together this amazing video here of the evolution of Kanye's politics. And let's take a little trip down memory lane, look at it, and see where he ended up. And then I have quite a bit to say about it.
Everybody in hip-hop discriminates against gay people.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Racism is a dated concept.
Okay, so it's weird. The first two clips were super duper old, and then we jump all the way to 2013. Okay, so we got 2005.
Everybody in hip-hop discriminates against gay people.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
All right, so 05 Kanye West, mega based. Super based. Of course, he said this comment about George W. Bush during Hurricane Katrina, where, first of all, they didn't get help there nearly fast enough. They didn't do a sufficient job the entire time that they were failing. They were pretending like they were succeeding. And, of course, the main focus of the media and the administration at the time was on black people who were looting at the same time that, like, hundreds of people were literally dying because they weren't getting the help that they needed. And, you know, that misalignment of priorities really exposed what Kanye's saying here. George Bush doesn't care about black people. Obviously, very famous quote. I wish you could see Michael Myers' face here because he makes this face of like, oh shit, that was fucking off script. But, so, anti-homophobia Kanye and anti-George W. Bush Kanye, mega-based, 2005, and then we go all the way to 2013 randomly.
Racism is a dated concept.
That's it. I don't know how. Like, did he not say anything political from 2006 to 2012?
It's not an actual thing.
I have decided in 2020 to run for president.
I really loved hearing.
By the way, how'd that go, bro? He got 60,000 votes. 60,000. What a sad showing.
Her speak and hearing her goals for our country.
Selfie with Hillary and Kim. Either he's just sort of like tagging along with whatever Kim is doing, or he's just a standard celebrity and like sort of comes from that same hive mindset that they all do, because usually they're all corporate Democrats in Hollywood.
Hashtag Hillary for president.
If I would have voted, I would have voted on Trump. Specifically to black people, stop focusing on racism.
Just friends, and he's a good man.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice.
Kanye West donates 150.
By the way, in that TMZ interview, he also said he loves Hitler, but they cut that out, and we learned about that recently.
50G to family of black security guard killed by white officer.
Kanye's.
That's crazy. So, like, he says, he started out saying a bunch of left-wing shit, then he started saying a bunch of right-wing shit, then he donated to victims of police brutality, so he's sort of all over the map. And then, of course, we have this famous meeting with Trump.
He's been a friend of mine for a long time.
I love this guy right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amen.
We are going to.
So from meeting Trump in 2018 and expressing his, you know, support for him to a Black Lives Matter protest in 2020, it's just sort of erratic, and there is no, you know, connecting tissue from from thought to thought or policy to policy or belief to belief.
Well, Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
Dan?
I love that reaction. We're leaving right now. That's quite a way to spin that. Harriet Tubman never freed the slaves. You could make the argument that that's like next level woke, because it's like saying everybody's still a slave under capitalism. But I don't think he was necessarily going for that point, given his recent commentary. I think he was more just being, standard OD contrarian Kanye. Same thing with the White Lives Matter shirt. I mean, this is like the definition of contrarian, right?
Sir, to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do.
Here is the tweet. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Okay, so a minute and 19 seconds, you got all of Kanye West's, I don't know if it's fair to say all, a bunch of Kanye West political statements over the years, started out on the left, sort of oscillated a little bit there in the middle, and then eventually wound up just a Nazi. Now, to further drive that point home, I know all of you have seen this by now, but credit to this guy, Mondo Sachs on Twitter, put together a compilation of all of the pro-Nazi, pro-Hitler commentary from Kanye when he was on the Alex Jones show. Let's watch that.
I've done a lot of study. I think Hitler was a really bad guy, and I repudiate what Hitler did. I understand that the British intelligence set him up and used him.
I like Hitler.
I don't like Hitler. And I know you're trying to be shocking with that.
I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. I do not. The Holocaust is not what happened. Let's look at the facts of that. And Hitler has a lot of redeeming qualities. This is the voice of Netanyahu.
The Holocaust. He said the Holocaust is not what happened. Let's look at the facts of that. Oh, man.
Well, CNN says white people are evil Nazis, so, I mean, I disagree with both statements, but I get the pros.
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis.
You can look at Alex's face. He's trying to help Kanye and like clean it up a little bit, and Kanye drives it right back into the ditch.
I think we need to look at.
And the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
But they did good things too. We're gonna stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay.
I'm Netanyahu. I ain't never had a supermodel. Yeah, could tell. The Jewish media has made us feel like the Nazis and Hitler have never offered anything of value to the world.
Okay, well, why would the Zionists be killing Jews in mass in Israel with the poison shot?
Because they work for Satan. They don't work for God.
Exactly. And you've got a little bit of the Hitler fetish going on.
It's not a fetish. It's not a fetish. That's a term like I just love information.
Can we just kind of say, like, you like the uniforms, but that's about it?
There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
I can't. I'm sorry. I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. Oh, that clip gets me every time. It's the way he stresses the words. I got to run that back. Look at how he stresses the words. There's a lot of things I love about Hitler. It's like he's fucking nutting in his pants as he says it. Unbelievable.
A lot of things that I love about Hitler.
Okay, Alex is trying to help him. He's trying to be like, you mean you like the uniforms, right? I think what you mean is you like the uniforms. Look, Hitler, Nazi thugs, definitely against what they did. But then you also, Jewish mafia is real. You got to give it Jewish mafia is real. But that doesn't mean all Jews are bad. So this is what you're trying to say, right, Kanye? I want to suck off Goebbels. This is what he's, oh my God, unbelievable.
A lot of things. Hey, Netin, what did you think about that, Netin? This is insane. You are an insane person.
But that's a good T-shirt. I love Hitler.
That's a bar.
I'm joking.
Germans had a really cool leader at one time.
Oh my God. Look.
And
when you make Alex Jones go, oh my God. Again, one more time, man. I gotta listen to, it's like exasperation. I don't even know if that's the right word, but like, it's Alex Jones just like, just so frustrated. And you hear him go, oh my God.
One time.
Oh my God. Look.
And
But that's a good T-shirt. I love Hitler.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
I'm joking.
Germans had a really cool leader at one time.
Oh my God. Look.
And he didn't kill 6 million Jews. That's just like factually incorrect. But for the ADL, I want to say there's a lot of good Nazis that were just fighting for their country. And for them all...
Like George Soros.
For them all to get put in a box. They're all in a box.
You see what he's trying to do there? He's trying to get back at people because people say to him, like, why are you putting all Jews in one box? And he thinks he's doing a gotcha by being like, well, you guys put all Nazis in one box. But of course... I guess he's unable to make the distinction of like an ethnicity versus like an ideology that you actively choose to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, if somebody's Jewish, as in they're born into a Jewish family, like, they couldn't help it, they had no say in the matter, there was no choice, it was just like, that's what it is. Because Judaism, it's both a religion, but also Jewish is also an ethnicity. So, like, there's a distinction between some immutable characteristic versus a political ideology that you actively made a choice to get into, right? And he's acting like it's a gotcha to fire back with, like, all Nazis? You think it's fair to go after all Nazis? Yes, it is absolutely fair to go after all Nazis. In the same way, it's fair to go after all Al-Qaeda members or ISIS members, or, you know, in the same way, it's not fair to go after all black people or all Jews. Like, this isn't that difficult, but he thinks he's, aha, I got you because I'm a genius. No, you're really not.
Every Nazi's bad?
Yes.
Well, could some of the Nazis have just been fighting for their country? We can't put them all in a box.
Benjamin Netanyahu played Kanye West today.
Ain't nothing. What you want? Hey, yay.
I'm tired of hearing I'm a Nazi. I'm really sick.
Oh, man. Wow. Again, it is impressive to make Alex Jones look like a moderate. It really is. This is the guy who said for years that Sandy Hook was a hoax. This is a guy who said that various Democratic politicians are literal demons who smell like sulfur. I mean, he's got a number of banger conspiracy theories that are not remotely true. He's had his moments of total psychotic breaks on air, like his famous lizard mask segment. Now, by the way, he put on the lizard mask at one point in this segment. I think he tried to hop in on the fun of Kanye absolutely losing it. Very strange. So, but it's crazy to make him look like the moderate. Now, look, then we get to the part of the conversation where it's like, okay, how did we get here? How did we end up here? What exactly is driving Kanye West? And, I mean, I think there are a bunch of pretty straightforward answers to that. I think early on, you can say, I'm going all the way back, even 2005, maybe even before that, maybe the years just after that, probably up till about 2011, 2012-ish, right? In that area, he was, like, very artistic, very creative. He's a musical genius, I think that's fair to say. But he also very clearly had, like, a contrarian instinct. One of the things that was interesting about Kanye, from a fashion perspective, is that he made things cool that weren't generally viewed as cool, right? Now, he's fucked that up, too, because then he got in bed with Balenciaga, and Balenciaga had the whole, like, creepy child porn scandal that came out recently, but Ye's clothes from Balenciaga and his fashion stuff is just, even from somebody, you guys know I'm not, like, a fashion head, but, like, man, it's bad. His giant, big-ass, rubber-ass boots, those things are ugly as fuck. This mask that he's wearing, people don't know he's worn this previously. Like, he's gone out in public previously with this gimp mask on because he thinks he's making a fashion statement. He thinks that this is, like, some dope shit. So, I think he's always had a contrarian instinct, but he was, like, artistic and creative with a contrarian instinct back then. So, honestly, even the commentary of, like, you know, why is rap so homophobic? That was an instance of, like, his contrarian instinct leading to some good in the world, where he's like, all you guys are really anti-gay, but that's not okay, that's not right, that's not fair, that's not just, there's nothing wrong with people who are gay. So it was like his contrarian instinct pointed him in the right direction. Even you could argue with the Hurricane Katrina, because he, in the heart of Hurricane Katrina, like in the moment, he was the one saying George W. Bush doesn't care about black people. And at the time, that was, you know, people weren't talking about the failure of the Bush administration at that moment. It took, like, you know, a month or two to set in before people realized, like, oh, he's really fucking this shit up, right? Or at least a couple of weeks before people said that. He said it in the heart of the shit. So it's like that contrarian instinct led him to some good political takes. Now, I think he's continued to have that contrarian instinct, but he was, deeply embedded in a world of the Kim Kardashians, the Hillary Clintons, the corporate Democrats, the Hollywood types. And so it was only natural that at some point that contrarian instinct would lead him more to right-wing politics. And look, anybody who has a contrarian instinct who's embedded in that world will end up with right-wing politics, because it's like you're surrounded nonstop by corporate Democrat love, establishment love. Everybody has the same opinions. It's copy-paste down the line. And he seemed like he had an aversion to that. Now, on top of the contrarian instinct, the other thing which we've brought up a million times, which is definitely fair to bring up, is that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He was on medicine for a while. Then he stopped taking his medicine. Now he brags about the fact he doesn't take his medicine. So he has untreated bipolar disorder. It has now become severe bipolar disorder, and he's currently in a manic state. Now, when you are in a manic state, here are the symptoms. This is from the NHS. This is what happens when you're in a manic state, just so everybody understands. And my grandmother had bipolar disorder. They used to call it back in the day manic depression, because you have period of mania and then you have a period of depression. You still have a period of mania and a period of depression, but they just changed the name to bipolar disorder because it's both extremes of the poles, right? So one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum, like you're never really comfortable in equilibrium in the middle, right? So here's what they say. If you're going through a period of mania, you feel very happy, elated, or overjoyed. You talk very quickly. You feel full of energy. You feel self-important. You feel full of great new ideas and you have important plans. You're easily distracted, easily irritated or agitated. You're delusional. You have hallucinations and disturbed or illogical thinking. You don't feel like sleeping. You don't feel like eating. You do things that have disastrous consequences, such as spending large sums of money on expensive and sometimes unaffordable items. You make decisions or say things that are out of character and that others see as being risky or harmful. So these are the symptoms of mania. If you are bipolar and you're going through a manic episode, these are the symptoms. Kanye fits probably every single one of these. Maybe you could say like one or two don't apply, right? But he fits almost every single one of these. So when you mix the contrarianism with severe untreated bipolar disorder, and somebody who thinks they're this mega genius and they're brilliant because they're a savant in one respect, music, they think that applies to like every area of life. Dude, you get him in front of the wrong Reddit page, you get him down the wrong YouTube rabbit hole, you get the wrong charlatans in front of him who are smooth talking and charismatic, he's going to end up in a very, very, very bad place. And that's what happened. That's where he is. And so it's kind of sad to go back and watch the evolution of Kanye's politics. It's kind of sad to see the commentary then and now. You always got a sense, you heard it in his voice, he always seemed like maybe a little bit unstable. But I think people at one point appreciated that because it felt like vulnerability, right? And when you're being open and honest with people, they gravitate towards that. And so a little bit of instability, it makes you kind of relatable, right? But let's just say everything went wrong, and now he's in a place where nobody's close enough to him to help him. Nobody's close enough to him to really get through to him like, bro, you need your medicine. The final point I'll make, you guys got to check this out. I don't have it queued up, and also I think I'd get copyright. I might get a copyright strike anyway because all those videos in that compilation, but there's a video of Kanye on David Letterman's show. I think it was his Netflix show or, wherever he did the show after The Late Show. I think it was in 2019. And in that video, Kanye, he'd blow your mind. See, this is when he was actually being treated for his bipolar disorder, and he's able to explain the symptoms perfectly. So I guess David Letterman asked him, like, well, what's it like having that? And he goes, well, there's, two different parts to it. There's the depressive part, and then there's the up part. And in the up part, you feel great, you feel invincible, you have all this energy, and this is the problem. A lot of people who have bipolar disorder, they like the feeling of the mania. Because there's also a period named hypomania, which comes before the mania. And hypomania is like mini mania. It's like turning down the volume a little bit on mania. So it's like you still have the euphoria, the elation, you don't sleep that much, but you're kind of like manageable. It's almost like you're on amphetamines, but it's like a reasonable dose of amphetamines. So you just feel good, and you feel like you can beat the world. and you feel like you got all these plans. But then when hypomania becomes mania, all of a sudden, the delusions of grandeur get insane, the ideas become insane, you're disconnected from reality, you're scaring everybody around you, you're pushing them away, and ironically, it's at that moment that you need help the most. At the time when you are pushing everybody away more, that's when you need help the most. And nobody's close enough with him. I mean, who's the closest person to him now? Fucking Nick Fuentes? Right? Like, Nick, if you're watching this, for the love of God, man, get this dude on lithium. Get this dude on pills. He desperately needs it for his own sake. He's going to hurt himself. He's going to hurt somebody else. Would any of us be surprised if news came out that Kanye committed suicide? I think everybody would be like, oh, we kind of saw that was happening. So, and everybody would be like, well, why didn't we fucking try to do something about that? Correct. Why didn't we? I'm saying it right now. For the love of God. Nick Fuentes. Somebody send this video to Nick Fuentes. Somebody send this video, I guess, to Milo, but Milo's now out of the campaign. Send it to somebody who's close to him. For the love of God, get this guy some help. He desperately, desperately, desperately needs help. And I mean that. And, you know, I like Kanye's music. I was never the biggest Kanye head, right? I wasn't the biggest Kanye fan, but I like some of his music. I got some of it, you know, in my playlists. But, like, from somebody, just from a disconnected, dispassionate perspective, just viewing this as an observer, an independent third party looking at this, my only takeaway is, like, get dude some help, for real. He desperately needs it. And if he were to get help, yeah, he would balance himself out quite a bit. And may even get to a point where he revokes his fucking weird-ass Nazi praise. But right now, he's digging that hole deeper and deeper. He's going further into that world, and it's getting uglier and uglier. So anyway, that's the evolution of Kanye's politics. Really, in a sense, we're talking about the evolution of Kanye as a person, and honestly, the evolution of his psychological illness. So, really sad stuff. Hope he gets help. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.